Justinian Targum. We're reading Numbers chapter 30. And Moshe spake with the sons of Israel, according to all that the Lord had commanded Moshe. And Moshe spake with the chiefs of the tribes of the Beni Israel, saying, This is the word which the Lord hath spoken, saying, A man, a son of 13, when he shall have vowed a vow before the Lord, or have sworn an oath, saying, I will withhold such a thing which is permitted to me, shall not be allowed to relax his word at his own will. Nevertheless, the house of judgment can absolve him. But if they absolve him not, whatsoever hath gone out of his mouth he shall perform. And a female who hath not passed 12 years, when she hath sworn a vow before the Lord, and hath bound herself in her father's house until her 13th year, and her father hear her vow, and whatever bond she hath bound upon her soul, and her father be acquiescent, and speak not to her, then every vow and every bond which she hath bound upon her soul shall be confirmed. But if her father prohibit her on the day that he heareth, or not being prepared to confirm, annulleth after he hath heard, then no vow or bond that she hath bound upon her soul shall be confirmed, but is remitted and forgiven her before the Lord, because her father hath made her free from the authority of the vow, or nullified to her the power of the vow. And if when she hath been taken by a husband a vow be upon her or her lips, have expressed that which is binding upon her soul while in her father's house, and her father had not absolved her while unmarried, then when she hath been married it shall be confirmed. But if after she is married she make a vow, and her husband hear it, and on the day that he heareth it, he is minded to confirm it, and is silent to her, then the vow and the bond which she hath bound upon her soul shall be ratified. But if her husband prohibit her on the day that he heareth, then the vow which is upon her, and the utterance of her lips which bound her soul are remitted and forgiven her. Yet the vow of a widow, or a divorced, whatever hath bound her soul, it be confirmed upon her. But if, while she was in her husband's house, or while she had not attained to marriage years, she had vowed or bound her soul with the bond of an oath which her husband hath heard of, and had neither spoken nor prohibited her, or had died before she was married, then all her vows should be confirmed, and all the obligations with which she had bound her soul be ratified, and her father shall have no power to absolve her. But if her husband released her on the day that he heard, then whatever her lips had pronounced to be a vow or bond upon her soul shall not be confirmed, and her husband had annulled them. And she, not knowing, had performed, it shall be forgiven her before the Lord. Every vow, every oath, bond to chasten the soul, her husband may ratify or annul. But if a husband was silent and consented when he heard from one day to the next, then all her vows and all her bonds upon her are ratified. By his silence he hath confirmed them, for he was silent to her on the day, and consented, and absolved her not on the day that he heard. But if, absolving, he would absolve her one day after he had heard, there is no force in the absolution. And if he then nullify the word, her husband or her father shall bear her sin. These are the publications of the statutes which the Lord commanded Moshe on these matters between a man and his wife, and a father and his daughter, in the day of her youth in her father's house. Jerusalem text. In the time of her youth in her father's house. But not in the time of her youth, and she be in the house of her husband. This is the end of the text. And this just reminds me from the book that I've written, I, Mary. She bound an oath right from a young girl, and when they paired her up with Joseph, it was because of the oath. So nobody was able to free her from such an oath. And Zechariah and many others that were in the temple at the time that knew Mary very well very much understood this matter, and hence why there was why they had to find a most suitable person to take care of her, because she did not want to be a wife. She wanted to keep her virginity, and that was the oath she made, and it would be wrong for anyone to force her to be otherwise. So, yeah, this is the end of the reading.